Hello, beautiful strangers, and welcome back to another episode of Myth. When last we left off, Meto, our good old MC-kun, was having some issues, let's say, when it came to seeing the shadow people, which is probably not for the best, but there doesn't seem to be much we can really do about that. But, actually I need to adjust my volume slightly. My headphones down a little bit, there we go. And, well, let's get back into it, shall we? Wait 1 minute, or wait 1 moment. She disappeared into the back. That's right, I think she's getting us tea or something like that. I was left alone in a place I wasn't familiar with. The design of the house was a type I'd never seen before. It was built in a way similar to homes from the past in my world. The word used for these floor mats was tatami. This was a wood frame house, or a wooden house. I lightly stroked the tatami mat. It was calming, surprisingly enough. I've never used a tatami before. If I recall, they're made of a mixture of like bamboo, or at least classically, they're made of a mixture of like bamboo and some kind of like wheat fiber or something. I don't really remember off the top of my head. I feel odd. My brain is mush. It's a good idea recording now, I'm sure. Yeah, I don't remember, but they sound comfy. They're slightly soft. I mean, like putting a mat onto a floor, like a futon onto the floor, like a Japanese futon, a mat on the floor. It's like comfy enough and it's soft enough where you can sleep on it comfortably. So I find that interesting. And not if I could. It is an interesting thought as someone that actually did used to sleep on the floor, on a futon on the floor, like willingly. Like I had a bed, I just found that more comfortable than sleeping in my bed, weirdly enough. Seemed to be really good for my back too. I never had back issues or neck issues whatsoever whenever I was doing that, but I was also younger, so who knows. It's interesting. Sorry for the wait. She came back holding something. What's that? Tea, have some. That was apparently some kind of beverage in this world. They didn't have tea where you came from, huh? So all they really had was something almost but not quite entirely unlike tea, maybe? You aren't going to drink it? The look on her face suggested she was confused. There's no guarantee that this is safe to drink. It's my favorite. La la. She began to blush. I thought I had glared at her, but apparently she was misunderstanding me. She really was an oddball. Not that this was anything new coming from her. I was more interested in this tea anyway. Was this green liquid really something you could consume? I seriously thought about it. What reason would she have to give me something that wasn't to drink? If I were to guess, if she were to do that, it'd be some kind of poison. But that wouldn't make sense. I'll just accept what she's offered. Alright. I pressed my lip against the hard cup of sorts she handed me. Cup of sorts. Okay. It's bitter. Tea is bitter, yeah. I see. So there was a kind of beverage I had not yet consumed that wasn't poison, and that was tea. And it served its purpose in providing me with some form of moisture. The taste was unpleasant, but it didn't adversely affect me. And while it left an unpleasant sensation in my throat, that, again, didn't adversely affect me. It served its purpose as a beverage just fine. Fucking this guy. This dude. Did the way the villagers appear shock you? She began to speak to me as I continued to sip at the tea. Yeah, he did. I got back on track. My first experience with the shadow was upon meeting Shimon. I didn't feel anything in particular when I first saw it either. It just sparked my curiosity, if nothing else. There really is no difference between them and her shadow. Neither possess an actual body, so to speak. Sorry if I pause more frequently than usual. I'm very paranoid. when I was setting up this recording session was basically just me opening the game and making sure that I didn't, like, my mic is positioned correctly and whatnot. When I unfocused off of the game, OBS couldn't detect it anymore. It just froze on whatever frame it was on whenever the game lost focus, and it never came back. I had to close and reopen the game. So that's fun. I'm hoping that doesn't happen randomly, and I'm very paranoid about that happening randomly, so I'm looking constantly over at my words at my OBS window and recording preview to make sure that doesn't happen. Lovely. I don't even know why this is being an issue to record. I mean, it's not being an issue, it's just doing things that's inciting my rampant paranoia. Anyway, so I must have at least expected their existence. I must have realized that the world of shadows equals the world where shadows live. So I knew what to expect, but irrational emotions swirled through me when I came into contact with them, and I ended up running away as a result. It's not your fault. Shomon's voice blew away the thoughts drifting inside of my head. It wasn't my fault. Was that really true? It was the first time I'd seen shadow people. Of course you'd be startled. Are you sure about that? Is that really the case? I am. Maybe she was right. I mean, it's not unheard of to experience something different from what you expected. As such, you could say that I reacted the way I did because I had seen something that strayed so far away from the reality I was used to. Hi, Morgana. You're sniffing my feet, and that's very, very ticklish because my feet are very ticklish. Anyway. But she continued as I gazed at the tatami. All the people in the village are good people. I guarantee that. Good people. They're all kind, gentle people. Kind, gentle people. I lifted my head up. The expression on her face hadn't changed from earlier. A warm smile originated from the heart. I wonder what Hibiki-chan wanted. Hibiki. I guess that was the name of that small shadow I encountered. It didn't feel right to give that being a name. She's my neighbor. We should drop by her house, that is, if you're interested in what she wanted. She made it seem like that was an easy task for me. She likely had no idea how much courage that would require. No, it's okay. That's why I rejected her offer in the nicest way I could. Okay, well, I want to introduce you eventually, so we can do it another day. She backed off, but given the way she is, I don't think she did that out of her own goodwill. We have to treasure our neighbors, so we should definitely go sometime. She was completely disregarding how I felt. The shadows were good people to her. But having her push that notion on me was disconcerting. Plus... Wait, I never said I was going to live here. I approached her about that because the way she said sometime bothered me. I was at a loss as to whether I should stay in this village or not. All I had done thus far was follow her. Although, thinking about it, I could have helped her. Or I could have her help. Huh? So you're going to leave then? I don't know. I want to talk with you though. Talk with me? Yeah, about why I came here. That voice, that formless voice. Voice? Her face went blank. I don't know if you heard anything earlier, but I did, so I can understand why you'd get confused. Back when I saw the gate. Oh, that's why you asked me if I said anything back then. That's right. Do you have any idea what that was about? I don't think I can help you. I see. Then there was no point in me hanging around. I'm out of here. I don't think I'm going to find any clues in this village. The chances of her providing me with useful information were slim too. Plus, the people who lived here were all... It made more sense for me to leave the village and look elsewhere. I quickly stood up. I had to find someone who had both a shadow and a body. There likely wasn't anyone else in this village, but it'd be a different story if I returned to the grassland. It was utterly aimless, but that seemed like the best course of action at the moment. Huh? You're gonna leave? But why did you want me to stay? I had no intention of changing my mind. Thanks for everything. I gave her my thanks and left. Returning down the road from which I came, doing my best not to look at those buildings, or beings, as I left that village. Perhaps the reason I felt slightly reluctant to leave was because I didn't want to part with Shimon. I just wandered through the vast stretches of grasslands, onward and onward. Nothing ever seemed to change. It was like I was going in circles. That wasn't possible, though. Everything has an answer, which meant that these grasslands, too, possessed the information I sought. That was what compelled me to continue forward. The sun soon began to set, though. Just how long had I been walking around for? I didn't know for sure, but my feet hurt. I sat down by some trees. I could somewhat see the stars. I'm hungry. Yeah, I'm slightly hungry too. I don't know. I feel weird. You ever have that? Just feeling weird, just vaguely kind of hungry. Like I think I ate dinner earlier than usual. I don't know. It's kind of, I don't know. It probably doesn't help that I'm just tired. That's a normal feeling for me. Which was odd because I didn't feel hungry until I actually voiced the thought. It's like I was suddenly starving. I am gonna, as soon as I finish recording, I'm gonna munch on some crackers though. I must have been desperate, hence why I forgot I was hungry. But now, I was just tired. To an alarming degree. I didn't even have the energy to get up. I need to consume something. Yep, you need... Okay. I get it. You come from a weird, strange place. I don't know anybody that's ever said, I must consume whenever they need to eat, but you know. You do you, Meito Tanabe. This was a world I had never been to before, though. While it was natural for there to be vending machines with nutritional supplements in my world, that clearly wasn't the case here. You know, if all my food options were nutritional supplements, I would probably starve to death. That sounds horribly miserable. I had to recall what my textbook said to do in this situation. Impromptu nourishment in an emergency. I searched my memories. In times of emergency when securing foodstuffs, contact one of the emergency ministry's medical providers and secure several different foodstuffs oneself. At that time, be sure to provide your age, name, address. I looked around. There was no need for me to search for a medical provider. I'm in trouble. God, your world sucks. It took me this long to realize it, but this world was completely unlike my own. I couldn't get a good grasp on anything here. But I was still hungry. I used to be able to do a stomach rumble noise. I can't remember how to do it. It's been a long time since I've done it at all. So I'm like, oh, no, I can't remember. I really need to do something. I had to think outside the box. First, let's see if I can find something safe for consumption around here. The only thing around here is grass, but maybe it'll be okay. I mean, it's most like standard grass doesn't really provide much in the way of nutrition. It's mostly just fiber, cellulose, I think. Not much of anything else. I know you can technically eat grass. I know people that did. Hell, I've eaten grass before when I was a kid, and it was like, I wonder what this tastes like. Grass. Yeah, I know. Because I knew Because where I lived, you could find things like honeysuckle and stuff similar to that, where it's like, oh, if you pick this and break this off and the sap, or like, and just kind of chew on it a little bit, it tastes like honey or something. Like, yeah, whatever. Maybe it'll be okay. Better than starving, at least. I stuffed my mouth with grass. It'll make you feel not hungry, but that's about all it'll do. Ugh. It was bitter. A different kind of bitter than the tea Shimon provided me. That bitterness was enough to make me realize that it wasn't safe to eat. I mean, it technically probably still is safe to eat. I mean, I like bitter things. I'm not super bitter things, but I like bitter things. Damn it. I stood up again. I had to find something to consume no matter what. My own life was more important than searching for that voice. Night arrived before I realized it. However, I couldn't move my legs at all anymore. Can't go back either. I had walked for several miles at least. There was no way I could feasibly return to that village. I screwed up. I would have at least been able to procure some food if I stayed at Shimon's house. But I refused to do that. I didn't even consider food to be a potential problem when I left. I just thought I could somehow get by. I was naive. Unexpected. It was unexpected that things that were naturally easy to obtain in my world wouldn't be here. I suppose that was normal, though. There was no food to be found in these grasslands. I didn't know what to do, and my thoughts were growing ever more hazy. I guess I'll just go to sleep. At least I won't feel famished while sleeping. That's not true. I'd worry about it once I woke up. I had to. I think I had to. Yeah, I had to. I remember what was going on then. I couldn't eat for like a 24-hour period. And you definitely feel hungry in your sleep once you're really hungry. And 24 hours isn't horrible. I mean, it's the longest I'd ever gone without eating. Longest I've gone to this day without, probably. I've fasted before, but I think typically even when I've done that, I haven't gone 24 hours without eating. Yeah, you feel hunger in your sleep. I'd worry about it once I woke up. I slowly closed my eyes. Or I guess in some cases, I mean, I know I dreamt about being hungry, and I'm pretty sure I didn't really sleep because I woke up because of stomach pangs. The natural sounds of the grassland, the whistle of the gusty wind. After being here all day, I was fed up with hearing those sounds. Yet, something about those sounds still caught my interest. The source of that interest soon came to light. A sound that was out of place among the others. Rustle, rustle, rustle. It had to have been. An unfamiliar voice. Unfamiliar, but one I still recognized. I had heard that voice before. Back at the village market. I opened my eyes. Whoa! A small shadow was before me. The shape of that being almost seemed etched in the pitch-black darkness of the grassland. That was the moon's work. I wouldn't even have seen her had there been no light coming from it. Hibiki, right? How'd you know? And once again, I made contact with this being. It didn't feel right. But why would it? A black entity was speaking to me. How could such a thing even be possible? Shimon told me. I continued, trying to calm my nerves. Shimon told you? Yeah. She giggled. Why? I didn't know, but she definitely did giggle just then. And we're friends. Us? Friends? The hell? Yes, Mito-san and I are now friends. How'd you know my name? I posed the same question to her. I hadn't told her my name after all. From this. She was holding my notebook. It had my name, Meito Tanabe, and Introduction to Psychology written on it. I picked it up in the grass. I didn't recognize the name, but I knew it had to be you when I saw you at the village market. So that's why you approached me? Yeah. And you've been looking for me ever since then? Yeah. I took my notebook from her shadowy hand. I need to take a drink. I knew what I was supposed to say to her. Words I had learned to use when facing a resolution to a situation. I was taught this at school. Common courtesy. What to say when I was in someone's debt. I had no choice but to give it to her. That black being. Thank you. My thanks. It was unpleasant. It grated on my nerves. Well, let's head back. Where? Isn't that obvious? She pointed. In the distance were a number of lights. The village? I had walked for miles earlier. How could the village be so close by? You must be hungry. Shimon's not good at cooking, but I'm sure she made you something already. And I just walked in circles? I won't take no for an answer. I was beyond hungry. I really wasn't in any position to be complaining or refusing. All I had to do was go straight to Shimon's house. I had to muster my courage and follow my instincts, and as I followed the shadowy entity, I did just that. Myth. Otherworld. I gazed at the blood vessel dangling from my shoulder. It arced through the air as I moved about. It was fun, so I kept doing it. Swing, swing, swing. Spin, spin, spin. It swung in circles. It was long enough to hit my cheek. I timed the moment it hit my cheek and bit on it. Sometimes having no flesh on my cheek was useful. Bite. Suck, suck. It was already solid. That was a shame. I thought about how mysterious our bodies are. Why do our bodies solidify so quickly? Why do our bodies wither away so quickly? Why don't I die? I wonder why. I touched my cheek. The skin on my face had already been eaten, along with my chest, legs, arms, and hips. Wait, my arms? I touched my cheek? My arms? Let me try to remember. Right. Long, long time ago. A very long time ago. Once upon a time, I lived somewhere with Mom, Dad, and an older brother. And then we ate my dad and brother. They were tasty. The end. Just kidding. I was then eaten after we ate them. Or was it after I was eaten that we ate them? I'm so dumb. Oh, I just thought of something. I recalled the conversation we had back then. I'm leaving. I forget. Don't go, Dad. I'm scared. Bro, don't worry. I forget. I'm sure your mother will understand. But Dad, she'll return to her normal self soon enough. I just have to talk to her. Okay. Now head back to the living room. Okay. Dinner's ready. We're having your favorite. Look, it's your favorite. I forget. So which will it be? Will you live or will you die? I'm gonna live. Yeah, I remember now. We ate them. We ate my dad and my brother. It made sense logically. Humans eat cows, and birds and pigs and fish and vegetables. We eat anything. The rest is just association. People kill cows. You skin them and hollow out their stomachs and take out their organs and chop them up. Now put a human in a cow's place. See, there's no difference. It's tasty. That's why we eat things. Morals. Morals? Morals. or owls. I forget. That was someone's name, I think. Morals tried to stop us, but that didn't work. The logic I mentioned earlier won out. I'll live. I muttered that phrase I had forgotten. What was it? I looked at my shoulder. There was no arm attached to it. There was just dangling blood vessels and thin nerves. I touched my cheek. We ate my throat today. It was delicious. Mama cut it with a knife. There was a big hole where my throat used to be. Mama laughed at me. I laughed too. It was funny. Oh? Why can't I speak? Oh, right. I'm silly. Of course I can't speak. She kept laughing. I was embarrassed. I couldn't speak to her anymore. It was sad. I could feel the vibrations in my throat. It felt kinda good, but it also hurt. Here's your medicine. She applied the medicine on the hole where my throat was. The unpleasant sensation went away. But there was another unpleasant sensation. That wasn't right. That shouldn't have happened. Mama? What's wrong? What's got you so upset? I wasn't getting through to her. I was trying to tell her I was still in pain. Good night. It hurts. It hurts, Mama, it hurts. It hurts, Mama, do something. It hurts so much. She kissed my forehead. My throat still hurt. It hurts. My eyes were drawn to her throat. It still hurts. It hurts, Mama, it hurts. But your throat looks so tasty. The pain remained for the rest of the night. I finally realized what that unpleasant sensation was. It was pain itself, gripping pain. The pain had a vice grip on my body, so I couldn't help but think about Mama's own body. Her smooth skin, long hair, soft breasts, eyes, arms, legs, genitals, organs, nerves, bones. That was the first time I thought about eating Mama. Myth Day 2. Encounter. And I think this is where I'm going to end off this episode. After that, well, very, very strange scene in Otherworld, whatever that may be. I think next time I might look at the character chart and see what that has to say. Because, well, it's an option, and I mentioned going through options and stuff, and we haven't done that yet. And well, I think we're going to search more for that voice, as a matter of fact, or at least try to get some information about it. So, well, I hope to see you all there.